Regional Resource Center for Elementary Education at Delhi University serves as a hub of the University School Resource Network, that is USRN, to strengthen the professionalism in elementary education. Center extends academic support to formal institutions like NCTE, NCRT, and government schools, non-governmental organizations, and individual practitioners. RRCEE provides several platforms for professional development of teacher practitioners via its teacher fellowship program, library resource, through its web portal, public lecture and film series. Today on this occasion, we have four special guests with us to discuss this film. Let me introduce our guest, Ms. Samina Mishra, a documentary filmmaker, a writer, a teacher, a sound recordist with special interest in media for children. Dr. Uma Chakravarti, a feminist historian, taught history at Miranda House, University of Delhi for 4 decades. She has written on caste and labor, education of women in 19th century India, and has written on women history. Dr. Neeraj Malik teaches in the Department of English at Indraprastha College, University of Delhi. Another panelist is Ms. Rituparna Bora, a feminist activist. She is currently working with Nirantar Center for Gender and Education on issues of sexuality and violence against women and sexuality education for young people. I welcome our guest.
आप लोगों ने भी देखा होगा कि ये जो 2 फिल्म्स बनाई हैं, एक तरह से ये इनकी रनिंग थ्रेड भी है, मतलब इसमें एक धागा जो है वो दोनों में चलता है, लेकिन इनकी जो संदर्भ है, कॉन्टेक्स्ट है, वो काफ़ी अलग अलग है। और जैसे समीना ने कहा, सर्वाइवल का मुद्दा बस्तियों में शहर होने के बावजूद अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ या मौके लोगों के लिए बिल्कुल बहुत अलग है, क्योंकि जो बस्ती में रहती है बच्ची, जो गांव छोड़ के आई है, जिनका परिवार आया हुआ, वो अपनी ज़िंदगी को किसी ना किसी तरह से मतलब खाना पीना जुटाने में और शेल्टर जुटाने में ही लगा रहता है। तो बच्चों को, लड़कियों को शुरुआत से ही एक अलग स्थिति बन रही है, जिसमें अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ उनके लिए है ही नहीं, स्कूल जाना तो नामुमकिन है। तो रनिंग थ्रेड जो दोनों फिल्म में बताई है कि डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है, लेकिन डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के भी मापदंड जो है वो काफ़ी अलग हो जाते हैं, क्योंकि दूसरे फिल्म में ज़मीन है, संपन्न परिवार है, लेकिन वहाँ पर भी डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है, लेकिन अलग तरीके की, मतलब कुछ चीज़ें उनके पास है भी, और फिर भी इन अ सेंस वो जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन थ्रेड है उसको आपने रखा है स्कूल जाने के बावजूद भी कुछ है। और शुरुआत बहुत अच्छी थी उसमें, क्योंकि दूसरे में वो बच्ची ट्रैक्टर सब जानती है, और हो सकता है बाद में जाकर के ट्रैक्टर भी चलाए, लेकिन उसकी ओनरशिप, ट्रैक्टर की ओनरशिप उसके हाथ में नहीं रहेगी, मतलब जो भी है। और टेक्नोलॉजी, दूसरे फिल्म में वो टेक्नोलॉजी को लेकर के भी बहुत अच्छी कुछ मुद्दे हैं। सो आई फील दैट बोथ द फिल्म्स आपने काफ़ी मतलब जो आप एक्सप्लोर करना चाह रही थी और एनालिसिस करना चाह रही थी, वो काफ़ी अच्छी तरह से उसमें से निकला, और मुझे तो अच्छा लगा।
आपने अपने कुछ व्यूज शेयर किए, बिकॉज यू पीपल वर देयर एंड यू पीपल आर अवेयर पीपल। Did you share anything out of your learning to them? Because they people were.
See, when you make a documentary film and you arrive in a place, you're always sort of the outsider, and it takes some time to develop some kind of, relationship. And that process of developing that relationship can only be based on conversation and exchange. So yes, definitely that where even a small thing like, if, for example, at the time when I was doing this project, I was not married and I was 30 or something, So that itself becomes like oh really, you're not married at 30, why? And there will be a conversation about that, you know. So of course, it is not possible to be able to, film with a family for over a period of 4 to 5 days and be in their house every day without sharing some of yourself. It's not, making a documentary film in that way is different from doing like a television interview. You don't just go and get a sound bite. So there has to be some sharing. And clearly then you have to share your context because you're talking to them about their context. And yeah. The project was really an opportunity to explore the diversity of childhood for girl children. I was working within that category, but I very much wanted to somehow complicate that category because I don't think it's possible, although maybe development agendas are drawn in a certain way and they look at narrow categories, but I don't think that those narrow categories really exist. So for example, in the first film, I think that there are many questions which would be valid also for boy children in growing up in the Basti. So in some way, for me, it was an opportunity to try to look at what are the lives of girls in different parts of our country, but also in the context that those lives are being led in. So to sort of somehow look at the fact that the gender discrimination is a complicated business. It doesn't, it's not just about being a woman, and that it manifests in different ways, in different contexts.
And I think what comes out is that the gender discrimination is refracted according to the economic and social context in which you are. So I think that comes out very well in the two films. Yeah.
See, whatever Samina's motives were, I'd like to talk about the film as a spectator, what I got from it. And whatever, you might read about life in slums or position of women, when you see a film like this, so sensitively done, and you have a window on the everyday lives of these girls. And for me, it was a fantastic experience. I mean, you saw, हम लोग सोचते हैं slums में लोग रहते हैं बेचारे, Now, look at the joy, happiness, the everyday small pleasures that these children have. A part of it is got by their independence, that they can earn 10 rupees, तो वो chewing gum खा सकती है, वो doll खरीद सकती है. So I'm grateful that the filmmaker has not made it that kind of a film, and yet eerily, silently, the discrimination, the exploitation creeps in with the with the data, with the statistics, with questions asked. और बच्चों को दिखाया है, but you have also shown slightly older girls how these girls inevitably move into a more constricted space, constriction of freedom. घरों में काम करना पड़ता है, तो उतनी भी फ्रीडम नहीं है जितनी छोटी बच्चियों को है जो एक च्युइंगम खा सकती हैं. और जिस तरह से उनको फिर बीमारियां और I think it's really well done.
मेरे कुछ ऑब्जर्वेशंस है एज ए स्पेक्टेटर. मुझे बहुत सारी चीज़ मेरे काम से रिलेटेड मुझे लग रहा था. मैं एक संस्था से हूँ जो जेंडर और शिक्षा पे काम करती है और हम बुंदेलखंड में काम करते हैं. तो मुझे मैं कुछ पॉइंट्स जस्ट बोलूँगी और उस पर ओपन डिस्कशन हो सकते हैं. जो पहले फिल्म में जो गर्ल शब्द है, पहले दूसरे फिल्म में उस शब्द पे क्वेश्चन मार्क है क्योंकि वो यंग वुमेन है, क्योंकि उनके ऊपर इतनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है कि घर में 10 रुपए कमाऊंगी, 5 रुपए मैं अपनी माँ को दूंगी. वो बचत वाला जो सिस्टम है वो बचपन से कैसे सोशलाइजेशन के थ्रू से आ रहा है. दूसरा है कि सबको मिलता है खाना, मतलब फिश, लेकिन सब में वो और उसकी माँ नहीं है. और वो बचपन से बहुत छोटी बच्ची है, शायद 10 साल की, 9-10 साल की है, और कि वो खुद को नहीं समझती है अपना, मतलब वो मेन, और वो बचपन से आ रहा है. एंड द होल इशू ऑफ चॉइस, वो जो दूसरे फिल्म में जो लैंड आउट ऑफ लव दे देते हैं, जब हम, और वही सिर्फ गरीबों का बात नहीं है, हर जगह की बात है कि ठीक है, हम मेरे जो पति है वो मुझे प्यार करते हैं और इसी प्यार की वजह से मुझे नौकरी करने नहीं देते हैं, या मेरा जो भाई है वो मुझे इतना प्यार करता है मुझे बाजार से सामान लाने नहीं देता है। इट्स रिलेटेड होती हो चॉइस क्या है और आउट ऑफ लव ये सब जो लैंड नहीं मिलता है। तो मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगा और जो कॉम्प्लिकेशंस है इस फिल्म में, जेंडर डिविजन ऑफ लेबर, जेंडर डिविजन ऑफ लाइक रिसोर्सेस, द होल थिंग ऑफ पावर, कि पावर मेरे हाथ में है, वो गाड़ी चलाने वाला है। तो इट वाज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग मिक्सचर ऑफ इश्यूज।
पंजाब में हमने क्यों सेट किया वो इसी वजह से कि टू focus on the fact that gender discrimination is not related to illiteracy and poverty, so इस वजह से हमने पंजाब पिक किया जिसके डेवलपमेंट इंडिसेस, इकोनॉमिक इंडिसेस हाई, ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन एंड ऑल दैट, एंड ऐसा परिवार जो संपन्न परिवार है। So that was one of the reasons that it's while I realized कि survival वाला film for the reasons we set in the slum, but we did not want कि पूरे set में then we just have stories that come from illiterate poor households.
In fact, ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात की कि एजुकेशन जो है, जो स्कूल में उनको एजुकेशन मिल रही है, उससे वो जेंडर रोल्स रीइंफोर्स हो रहे हैं। मतलब उनको अटैक नहीं कर रहे हैं, उनको कोई दूसरी समझ नहीं दी जा रही है। वो जो उनके रोल्स हैं कि लड़की बड़े होके ऐसे होगी और शादी होगी और लैंड नहीं मिलेगा और पंजाबी कल्चर ये है, ये सब एजुकेशन के थ्रू उनको और भी समझाया जाता है।
एक्चुअली नोटिस आपने किया होगा कि ये जो मुद्दा है कि औरतें खुद जमीन नहीं चाहती हैं क्योंकि वो चाहती हैं कि उनके भाई का जो प्यार है, उनके लिए भाई का प्यार और भाभी का प्यार ज़्यादा है और ज़मीन कम है। आई थिंक वो जो आर्टिकुलेशन उसकी है वो खास करके जाट पेजेंट हाउसहोल्ड जो संपन्न परिवार हैं उनकी जोर से काफ़ी ऊंची आवाज़ में इन सेंस प्रिविलेज किया है वो कॉन्वर्सेशन की कि औरतों को ज़मीन इसलिए नहीं दी जाती। वो बचपन में ही बच्ची जो है फिर वो उसको नहीं करती है सिंपली लड़कियों को क्या मिलेगा, उनको डावर मिलेगा, लड़कों को क्या मिलेगा, ज़मीन मिलेगा। द नेचुरल जो चीज़ उन्होंने बिल्कुल एक तरह से नेचुरलाइज कर रखा है जिसमें लड़कियों को उनका दहेज मिलेगा और वो दहेज वो बड़ी अच्छी कॉम्बिनेशन वो लड़की देती है कि लड़का को क्या मिलेगा, उसको लड़की मिलेगी दहेज के साथ। सो लड़की का दहेज भी उसको मिलेगा और लड़की भी मिलेगी। सो एक्चुअली वो कितना यू कैन एक्चुअली सी हाउ शार्प दैट फॉर्मुलेशन इज। वो बच्ची हैज गॉट द एसेंस ऑफ द ट्रांजैक्शन। दैट इज द ट्रांजैक्शन दैट द गर्ल विल बी गिवन बट शी विल गो अलॉन्ग विद ऑल ऑफ दिस ओनरशिप। आई थिंक ये फॉर्मुलेशन जो और वो जो विचारधारा है वो विचारधारा उसी तरह से एब्सोल्युटली ठीक अपनी जगह है। उसको हिलाने के लिए अभी वहाँ पर वो जो बातें आनी चाहिए वो शायद नहीं आई हैं। बिकॉज इवन द ओल्ड लेडी वो जो कहती है ना कि बाद में वो टेक्नोलॉजी को के बारे में जो बात लेती है, शी पुट्स इट वेरी वेल। कहती है कि अगर वो ग्रैंडफादर नहीं अलाउ करते कि सेक्स डिटर्मिनेशन हो, सेक्स डिटर्मिनेशन कर सकते हैं लेकिन अबॉर्शन नहीं करना है। तो एक पुराना पीढ़ी है जो अबॉर्शन के खिलाफ है, बट वो ये भी कहती है कि अगर वो मान जाए तो फिर अबॉर्शन कर देंगे। हो सकता है तो लड़की को फिर उड़ा दिया जाएगा। और देन शी सेज कि पहले भगवान की देन थी, अब हमारे कंट्रोल में है। एंड दैट्स अ वेरी पावरफुल फॉर्मुलेशन। अब जब साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी तुम्हारे हाथ में आ गई है, फिर उसको आपने अनइक्वल डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी तरीके से इस्तेमाल किया है। वन वुड हैव थॉट कि टेक्नोलॉजी विल लिबरेट यू फ्रॉम थिंकिंग इन अ सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ वे। ऑफ कोर्स वी नो दैट टेक्नोलॉजी अपने आप में कुछ नहीं है, टेक्नोलॉजी भी पुश किया जाता है दिमाग के साथ। बट हियर यू सी कि साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी को किस तरह से नॉट ओनली पूरी तरह से इनकॉर्पोरेट अपनी जिंदगी में किया है, पर उसको किया है along the विचारधारा that you have always privileged. So in a sense you have to also see कि अपने आप में education, अपने आप में टेक्नोलॉजी कोई चीज़ लिबरेट नहीं करेगी। तुमको मतलब सोचने का अंदाज नहीं बदलेगा, सोचने के अंदाज बदलने के लिए और चीज़ें भी चाहिए, और चीज़ों की ज़रूरत है।
लेकिन एक बात मैं पूछना चाहती थी कि ऑफ्टन इफ यू स्पीक टू पीपल इन टर्म्स ऑफ थिंग्स दैट अब जैसे आप उनके पास एक मूवी बनाने गए हैं जेंडर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के बारे में, तो और आप उनके साथ कुछ दिन रही हैं, तो हाउ डिफिकल्ट इज इट टू डील, आई एम श्योर देयर इज सम सॉर्ट ऑफ एंटागोनिज्म कंसीडरिंग यू आर मेकिंग अ मूवी ऑन जेंडर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन एंड बहुत प्राउडली वो कहते हैं कि हम जाट हैं, हमारी लड़कियां ऐसी होनी चाहिए, तो अब आप एक मूवी बना रही हैं जो इन चीज़ों को चैलेंज करने वाली है, तो उस एंटागोनिज्म से आप कैसे डील करते हैं, इवन इन टर्म्स ऑफ किसी इंटरव्यू में या डॉक्यूमेंट्री तो बहुत ही एक्सटेंडेड पीरियड तक है।
I was wondering if did you ever come across the voice of any child who was quite resistant, or a girl child who was quite resistant to whatever the family was trying to say, and how then it led to certain kind of reactions, and how the child being an actor in his or her own self would have negotiated or resisted or came out with certain things. So did you ever come across, and how did other people around the child reacted to it?
I think a sort of element of almost manipulation when you are working at creating, at image making, I think. So when you walk into a setting like this, it's not that you're dishonest, but you don't go out there and say that, oh, I'm making a film about how, you guys will be made feticide. You don't do that. So you go in and it's a very slow process. So you go in and you say, this is a set of films I'm doing, which is looking at the lives that girls lead across the country, and we are looking at questions of where do they go to school, what are the kinds of choices they make, all of that. And you're not dishonest, you're not withholding information, but you also are presenting it in a way that seems a bit more palatable. And I think one other important thing to remember is that, let's say a family like this does not think that they are discriminating. So when you say that I'm looking at the lives of girls in different contexts, they think it's a good thing that you're doing, that of course it's important, and we must talk about, our girls go to the best school, same as we are not sending them to the government school and sending boys to the best private school. So they don't think that they're actually being discriminatory. And for me, in fact, it was very important that I don't make the family look like, there's some villains, because I don't see them actually as villains, They are transmitters, inheritors and transmitters of a system. And it's the system and the structure that we need to critique, not them. Very interesting question, but what I think that what I had said for myself is, I had thought that I would try, in terms of the 3 films, different age groups across the films, So, of course, it never works in your head. When you start out on paper, you think that you will be able to get exactly, So I thought that I would do the first film up to like 8, get characters who are up to the age of 8, and then 10 to 12, and then the third film was older. So in the first film, no, I didn't actually, because I think if you see the context, there is no room really for that, because it's just like I need to go out and work, or I need to just go out and collect garbage, or I need to just help cook the food, I need to look after my younger siblings. There's no context really, I think, for that. And it was also not easy, I spent a lot of time trying to find, because the one thing that I did in the first film was that I didn't want to just look at the girls, especially because I was trying to find younger girls. So I wanted this device, this woman who is expecting a child, to also come in, because it's a question then of how it's not just the life of the little girl, but it's also a life that somebody who has lived through is reflecting upon. So to find that woman and have that woman agree to be a part of the film took a lot of time. So perhaps I was not also looking, maybe, I might concede that.
One thing that came to my mind was when you say just in trying to locate the right kind of family, just methodologically speaking, what were the things that were in your mind to locate a sort of right kind of a family? Because as a researcher, when you enter the field as a person who is making a movie or like any other researcher, that's very important to actually find.
So in my idea, for the first film, I decided it had to be something in the slum, in the city, because it was survival, and I wanted to bring in the whole question of class. So I don't think that I mean, rag picking was like, it was the most visible thing, and so I just sort of went along with that. But I don't think that the question of, is the girl going to school, not going to school, all that, I was willing to go with anything really in that. But as long as she was from a working class family that had moved to the city in search of work. So broadly for the first film, that was it. The second film, I wanted a family that loved its girls. That was important, yeah. And I wanted a kind of, middle class, a family that was not poor. So those were the two main criteria for making a certain film.
My question is regarding the second movie. Like we saw that the parents were sending their children to one of the most expensive schools in the whole village, and supposedly one of the best schools in the place, if I can assume that. So like, what were their perceptions about education? We know that the families were land-owning, were rich families, were considerably prosperous. So what did they have in their mind regarding education, the significance that they attached to it, and why were they actually sending their children to schools?
I think pretty much for the same reasons that most people send their children to school these days. I don't think the question of in cities, for example, and this village is about not even half an hour from Amritsar, so it's sort of on the edge of the city. In most places now, people send their children to school because there's this notion that somehow for working class families that is going to bring a change, and that education is a route to sort of instrumentalist in that sense. And for middle class families like Prithpal's family, it's the done thing. I mean, it's not a question. It's like you or me. We would be sent to school. They're not different in that way. What are their aspirations from education? I'm not sure I could answer that, like for the boys, for example. But for the girls, I think it's the standard thing. You see that in matrimonial ads, don't you? She's done a BA and she's done a BA or whatever, but she's not get educated. So I think that, for a certain section of society, it's a given, you will enroll your child in school. Whether that education is going to open up some windows or is it going to allow her to choose differently from you, you don't really think that. In fact, as parents, you never expect that your children will make different choices. No, I'm sure I don't. I think my child will make the same kind of choices as I do in that sense.
Tube well, where the water is coming out, and they're taken off their clothes and they're in their kachas and they're sort of, playing around in the water and enjoying themselves, flapping about and whatever. Now there are three girls. One of them is dressed in a shirt and a pant, and she's dressed like a little boy. And then there is a comment about how the fact that they are hanging around on the periphery, but they're not jumping in and playing. But there is a comment saying that she wants to do it and she doesn't actually do it. So in a sense, you can see what the limits of your, the limits of possibilities itself are being circumscribed in the way in which it's so naturalized. And so that's one. Now, I was also struck by the fact that the statement around certain kinds of naturalized ways of thinking is articulated with the adults. Now, the men, the older men, they're all holding the position, and it's only the men, I don't know if he did it calculatively, but it's only the men who are talking about the fact that the land will only go to the sons. You don't have a woman saying that, and that's interesting. Dadi sort of says it. She says it in a certain kind of way. But they're quite frontal about the fact that, and this goes along with the ideology very strongly in parts of northern India, which is Jameen Joru Jor Ki, Nahi to Kisi Aur Ki. So basically it is to be held by force. Men are the forceful category. They're going to keep the land. But it's very important that the little girl, when she's asked this question, she said, why will we brothers? She said, who will we tie Rakhis for? So I think it's very important for us to acknowledge, understand that actually the ideology of inequality or of, say, love for the brother is actually stated right from the beginning in an affective way. So it's emotion that you have to ramp down for the the daughters, emotion is not something that you're going to actually play, particularly as far as the fathers are concerned. Or maybe there is a statement saying that the best thing about girls is that, you know, they're the happiest when there's a certain statement that's made about men, about bhai ka kya kanta. Bhai ka pyar and bhabi ka pyar is reiterated.
You know, another thing that the film focuses on very nicely is and it talks about child labor, how children, 1 out of every 4 has to earn his or her own living. You know, शुरू में ये कहा गया कि वो लड़कियां चली जाती, वो लड़कियां भी कहती हैं नहीं तो हम घर में बैठेंगे तो लड़ाई करेंगे, तो क्यों ना हम जाके गार्बेज इकट्ठा करें. So as if it's an individual choice, वो जा रहे हैं, थोड़ा पैसा भी मिल जाता है, but the film focuses on how it is essential for the survival of their families, number 1. Number 2, it is part of the, you know, national economic system, because वो गार्बेज बिक रहा है, उसके पैसे दिए जा रहे हैं, वो फिर गार्बेज कहीं और जाएगा, वो सेपरेट हो रहा है. So it is actually child labor in a very, you know, formal sense that I got sort of aware of.
वो जो रेजिस्टेंस वाला जो सवाल आया था मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगा, क्योंकि फिर से मैं अपने काम की तरफ अगर मैं याद करूँ कि जब हम जेंडर की बात करते हैं और जेंडर नॉर्म्स की बात करते हैं तो हम ये कहते हैं कि कहीं ना कहीं इस फिल्म में मुझे थोड़ा रेजिस्टेंस दिखाई दिया, क्योंकि जैसे कि हम पूरी तरह से अबला या पूरी तरह से सबला नहीं होते हैं. जैसे प्रितपाल इज नॉट सपोज टू गो एंड लर्न हाउ अ ट्रैक्टर मतलब चलाते हैं, बट शी लर्न्स इट. दिस इज ऑल्सो सम काइंड ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस. You know, somewhere I see resistance, and in the first film, like they go out to collect garbage, and the way they spend the money on a boomer, you know, I see it as a kind of a resistance to something or the other. So it's not black and white all together. And secondly, about the shiksha, you know, like it's a middle class status कि शिक्षा तो मिलना ही है, कभी प्राइवेट स्कूल में जाना है, अभी कोई भी गांव में चले जाओ वहाँ पे प्राइवेट स्कूल तो होता ही, और प्राइवेट स्कूल में भेजना शिक्षा का एक मतलब वो फैमिली का स्टेटस ही है कि उसको भेजना है. बट व्हाट काइंड ऑफ शिक्षा एक्चुअली वाज प्रोवाइडिंग, जस्ट टू क्वेश्चन देयर.
जैसा कि फिल्म में इसमें दिखाया गया कि जब लड़कियों को प्यार मिलता है, प्यार की वजह से उसको ज़मीन नहीं मिलता है, और ये बहुत एक छोटी बच्ची भी उसको एक्नॉलेज कर रही है. तो आई थिंक दिस इज द आइडियोलॉजी, और आइडियोलॉजी कम्स फ्रॉम पैट्रियार्की सोशलाइजेशन. जब मैंने पीटर बर्जर और लैकमैन की एक बुक पढ़ी थी, सोशल कंस्ट्रक्शंस ऑफ रियलिटी, तो उस सोशल कंस्ट्रक्शंस ऑफ रियलिटी में उन्होंने ये बताया कि जो सोशलाइजेशन का जो प्राइमरी सोशलाइजेशन होता है, उस प्राइमरी सोशलाइजेशन में जो पैट्रियार्की आइडियोलॉजी होती है इतनी स्ट्रॉन्ग कर दी जाती है कि थ्रू सेकेंडरी सोशलाइजेशन हम उसको चेंज नहीं कर पाते हैं. और वो जो प्राइमरी सोशलाइजेशन का पैट्रियार्की आइडियोलॉजी है वह हमें इस चीज़ को रियलिटी के रूप में स्वीकार कराती है कि हमें ज़मीन में इसलिए हिस्सा नहीं दिया जा रहा है क्योंकि हमें लव और प्यार मिल रहा है पेरेंट फैमिली की ओर से. तो आई थिंक दिस इज पैट्रियार्की आइडियोलॉजी जो कि थोपा गया है इस सोसाइटी पे, और वो थ्रू प्राइमरी सोशलाइजेशन हम लोग उसको एक रियलिटी के रूप में आगे बढ़ाया जा रहा है.
I would like to appreciate this effort of making these movies, and what I have actually concluded from this is that the role of education is very important in the sense, not in the sense of formal education being given, but what is more important is the role of teachers, because teachers are also women and they need to be made aware of this, that there is such ideology which is being filtered, to which the girl child is being oriented from child. So what we basically need is critical thinking which cannot come without
The only thing is that one, when you say, for example, that the teachers are women, within that itself there's a story of gender discrimination. Why is it that most of our teachers are women? So all I'm trying to say is that I think that this is a much larger and a question which requires us to look at the bigger picture. Just as childhood, I don't think should be constrained within the boundaries of childhood. Actually, I don't think that it exists like that. It's a construct that we are creating. You know, for a child, the child is actually part of this larger social system. So whether it's globalization, whether it's migration, whatever it is, has an impact on the child in a specific way, just as it will have an impact on a woman or on a man. So that's what I'm saying, that it is a question that needs to be addressed at many different levels. I don't think we can say that only education is the answer, because we've seen that these films are now 11 years old and education hasn't made that much of a dent.
Thank you very much. It's been very nice having this discussion with all of you. Thank you.
It's been a very nice experience to be here to see these films. It relates in a manner. I am doing women's movement in my class, but I think these films help us understand it much better than whatever we read. So thank you to all, to RRC staff, to CIE,